Okay, we're doing our first practice side.
We're gonna take points off for spelling.
It's gonna have to be close. It should be really close.
Like abbreviate some a little bit.
As long as I know exactly what you mean.
Because like the Grayson Shirley function, we like the G and
Yes.
are they different?
All right. So for number 1, A, you had to sketch e to the x. Does it look like this?
Yes.
That's what it should look
That's what
like.
mine looks like.
Do you want us to point?
It would be awesome if you did that, but I'm probably not going to take off because I'm a wuss. But it would be awesome if you did that.
Wait.
Now, what about the second one? I bet you all got that one right.
I did.
What's the shape of the absolute value? That's a V. That's a V. And what's the shape of the square root function?
Half parabola.
Yep, top half of a parabola. That's right, top half of the parabola going out. So there are your graphs. When you get your quiz tomorrow, the top 3 questions are going to say sketch. Now, it won't be these 3, but it'll be 3 of your BFS and you're going to sketch them. Got it? All right, next. Write the name of the indicated function. So take a look at the pictures I've drawn, and what is the name of that first one? Logistic. Don't abbreviate it. If you abbreviate it, it'll look like log, and we have another log function, so don't abbreviate it. It's logistic. What about the next one?
Greatest integer.
Greatest integer, and we're writing the name now. So I'm going to write greatest integer. And how about C, your parabola? What function is that? That's your squaring function. Good. All right, everybody good with part 2? All right, part 3, write the equation. So don't write the name, you already did that part. Now we're writing the equation. So what's A?
Y equals X.
Y equals X. The name is the identity, and the equation is Y equals X. What's the second one?
Y equals L and X.
X, exactly right. Y equals ln x. That's your logarithmic function. That's your natural logarithmic function. ln x. And be careful on C.
So Y equals SLS
Oh, it's the cosine. That is the cosine. How does Audie know it's the cosine and not the
Because
sine?
the middle point's above
That's
the...
right. It doesn't go through the origin. Remember? The origin, the sine goes through the origin. This one doesn't go through the origin, so therefore it's the cosine. Now, think about the ones you graphed, which were the exponential, the absolute value, and the square root. The ones you named, the equations you wrote. This is your identity, your natural logarithm, and your cosine. There are 3 that are not up here yet. Zion.
Cubing, sine, and other one.
One is the cubing function, one of them is the sine function, and the reciprocal function. There we go. Your quiz, kids, will be exactly like this, where you'll do 3 and 3 and 3, and then there's 3 left, and you have to come up with them and write them down.
Hard.
Okay? Turn it over. Practice number 2. Actually, you can do anything you want. So you can either, like I named them, you could draw a picture of them, if you remember the picture, or you could write their equation. I don't care.
So as long as
I did all
Representation of 3 of them up there, yep.
What if we did all of them? Will we get any extra?
No. but that would be awesome. Okay, practice test number 2,
Oh, I have a question.
or practice quiz number 2. What?
Do you want us to put the before we put the name of the function?
No, you don't have to.
Okay, so we can just put like square root
Yes,
function.
yes, that would be fine.
My pencil's tweaking, Miss Fuller.
All right, so here we go. Sketch the indicated curves. We're starting over again. We're taking another practice quiz. Let's see how much of this you can do without your paper. Can anybody tell me the first picture? What that looks like? It's a logistic function. You're exactly right. And its shape has an asymptote on the axis and another asymptote up here, and then a squiggly going from bottom to top like that, right?
Yeah.
That's the logistic function. Cosine. Gotta have the 1 and the -1 marked for the cosine. That is important. You gotta have those marked. And you know for your cosine, you're gonna go like this, right? Up and down, up and down, up and down. But you have to be careful where you start.
It's not.
You start here. So then you come down, all the way down to -1, and then all the way back up. All the way down to -1, and all the way back up. So you have this series of hills and valleys. Going up to 1 and down to -1. And then what's the last one?
The reciprocal.
That's your reciprocal function. Remember, you got an asymptote here, and then a little hyperbola shape here and here. That's your reciprocal function, y equals 1 over x.
When we draw the asymptotes, do you just like want us to kind of put
Is there a
on the
P
side?
at the end of that word?
I said asymptotes.
You did. And it makes me twitch. Asymptote.
Asymptote.
Yep.
Do you like want us to kind of put on the side because like it'll be hard to see the lines?
Put them right on the axis. Put them on the axis. That's where they are. So I know that's where they are. So
Well, it's just
I'm not
like
worried
I
about
can't
it.
like.
I know, but I can. Okay? Next, write the names of the functions. All right, so now I've drawn the pictures. The name, what is that for 2A? That's my identity. What's B? Square root. What's 3?
Greatest number.
Greatest integer.
I thought it was linear.
What did you think was linear?
The
A?
identity.
Well, actually, some people do refer that to that as linear, and I wouldn't mark it wrong if you did.
Okay.
That's a line, a linear equation.
Wouldn't mark it wrong.
I wouldn't mark it wrong if it said linear for identity, because it is a line. Okay, number 3. Write the equation of the indicated function. All right, what have we got there in 3A? Y equals ln x. That is the natural logarithmic function. Y equals ln x. Okay, what's the next one?
Absolute value of x.
Y equals, yep, absolute value of x. And the last one?
Y equals x cubed.
Y equals x cubed. Very good. All right. So now on the board, I got 9 of them. There's 3 missing.
Y equals x2.
And y equals x squared.
Yes.
Now, somebody asked, and I want to clarify, when you have to list these last 3 down there at the bottom, note it says you can draw it, you can name it, or you can write the equation of it. So I've written the equation. But if you would rather draw a picture of it, that's fine. If you would rather write the name of it, that's fine. Somehow identify those last 3. All right, what else are we missing?
Y equals
Sine.
sin x.
Sin x.
And then what's the x that has like the brackets? Like
That's been used.
It's y equals ex is the last one.
Y equals e to the x. That is known as what function? That's your exponential, and that isn't up here anywhere. So that is the one that's missing. Somebody said, what's the one with X in the brackets? The
That's
one with
greatest
X in the
integer.
brackets is the greatest integer, and it's already up here. Okay, so everybody's clear on what tomorrow holds. Only one side, but it'll be 12 questions, 12 points, okay? All right. Now, where did I leave off? Well, we're not gonna launch yet.
No, it's just that.
Just chill.
My stomach or
Where did I leave off
No, it's not.
last time?
I think we finished all that.
Oh, it's
Okay, so we're back in our notes now.
My stomach hurt.
oh, okay.
They're not like ragged.
So get your notes out. Listen, the longer you mess around, the longer it'll be till you go to lunch, and the shorter your lunch period will be.
A word.
So let's get focused.
Unless you wanted us to fill out all these.
No, you do not have to fill all those out.
Alright.
You have to know what they mean, so that if I said to you, is this curve continuous? You would say, yeah, because I can draw it all in one stroke. So you need to understand what the words mean, but you don't have to fill it out.
That won't be on the quiz.
No, the quiz is exactly like what I just gave you,
The exact thing.
Yes, dude.
except the problems are different. I mixed them up, but yeah, it's formatted exactly the same. Okay, so we are in 1.3.
Yeah.
And so we're in our notes on the back of page 9. Have we done any of this yet? On the back of page 9 of our notes?
No. They're on 10.
I think we're done.
Because like,
We're ready for page 10?
yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Okay, you're gonna, yeah, we'll have a good lunch here. We're gonna get through this first section, and then we'll go to lunch and come back and do piecewise. Awesome. Okay, so we're on number
What?
3.
Are we ahead now?
No.
Okay.
We're on number 3 where it says, how does the graph of each of the following compare to the basic function? What I want you to be able to do is to draw these five equations. Now, I'd like you to be able to draw it without plotting points. And when I say plotting points, I mean without building a T-chart. You can always build a T-chart and plot points. Always. That will work on every graph you ever need to do. But it takes too much time. You should be able to graph this without thinking twice. If you remember 2 things. First of all, you have to remember what the square root function looks like. The square root function looks like this, right?
I knew that.
So this picture is going to look just like that. The difference is it's not going to be sitting at the origin.
Could be a
Because when
puzzle.
you add and subtract in the equation, it moves the picture around, either sideways or up and down. So, Joe!
Yeah?
Put your phone away.
Oh, it's sitting.
Oh, no. Don't, no. I know I'm old and somewhat senile, but no. That's a detention. When you add or subtract a number from your equation, it's going to move you sideways or up and down depending on where the number is. There is a difference between a -5 here and a -5 here. Do you see the difference?
See.
When the -5 or +2 or whatever it is attached directly to the X inside the problem, that's a sideways shift. This was going sideways. And since it's -5, it actually goes 5 units to the right.
Gosh, jeans.
So you have your square root function sitting 5 units to the right. If the problem had been this one, which is not, I made that up, but if it had been that one, it would take this shape and move it down 5. If the number is outside the problem, see, this is your BFF. If you tack it onto the end of your BFF, it goes up and down. If you put it inside your BFF, inside the square root, then it goes sideways. Okay? So that's a picture of A. Done. All right? As soon as we get done with these last four, we'll go to lunch. So now we have the absolute value plus 1. Now you all know what shape this is, right? That's a V. Now look where the 1 is.
So just start on
Your
positive.
choices are you can put the 1 inside or you can put the 1 outside. I just told you, when it's outside, what do? Up and down. So you are going to go up 1 unit. You're going to take your regular old absolute value V and you're moving it up 1. Ferris?
Do you want us putting the points?
Yes, you do. For these, you have to put the starting point. Okay, the next one. Now, you know what this looks like, right?
Yeah.
That you have memorized, an asymptote here, and it looks like this, right? That's what that looks like. Now, I have added 1 to it. And look where I added the 1. I just added the 1 onto the end. And what does adding the 1 onto the end do? Picks it
0, 2.
up 1. So yeah, so now that point is at 0, 2. And this isn't on the axis now, this is at 1. And there it is. So I'll get the black one out of there so it doesn't confuse you.
So what would it look like if it was attached?
If it was attached,
Would it be
the
a
equation,
parentheses?
it would be like plus 1 here, and it would take that original black picture I had and shift it this way 1. So it wouldn't really look any different, except it would cross the axis at a different point, because it would be going back 1. So instead of looking like this, it would back up, that exact same picture, it would back it up and look like this. Actually, back it up. Not go forward, back it up. It would look like this.
So we have, like, if there's like a question like that,
You have to be able to sketch it, but I wouldn't ask you to plot that point because you need some fanciness to find it.
So like, no matter what point we go up to, the point right under it is gonna be the dotted line.
For e to the x, yes. For e
And what
to the
about
x.
the LNX one? Is that also?
Same thing, but it's sideways. Yep, same thing, but it's sideways. All right, 2 more. Here we go. Tell me about D.
it's attached. It's a square root function.
So it's a squaring function, and the 1 is actually inside the problem. It isn't. It isn't this.
It's not the
It's inside the problem. So what shape is it, first of all? Parabola. Supposed to start here, but that backs it up 1. So I have a parabola shifted over 1. Putting a plus 1 in the problem moves it left 1. Just like putting a minus 5 in the problem. Well, I had it, but I erased it. Putting a minus 5 in the problem shifted it right 5. Okay, 1 more. Y equals x squared minus 1.
Does that just bring it down?
What shape?
Parabola.
Parabola. Supposed to start here, but drop down to here.
Yes.
So that's the point 0, negative 1. Okay? All right, let's see what time it is.
Rub. 40 minutes
Let's
this time,
see,
right,
let's
Mrs.
come
Blue?
back at 57.
Huh?
Is that right?
Oh, no.
53. Whoa, 53. 53. So now, no, I said 53. Come back at 53. It's on tape. 53.